The most expensive currency is attention.
Is who?
Attention.
Really?
It is. And it's only getting more and more expensive. So if you look at these big conglomerates, you look at Google, you look at Coca-Cola, they're spending billions every single month just to gain as much attention as humanly possible. Because once,
True.
yes,
Instagram,
yep,
TikTok.
ads, billboards, walking ads, humans, individuals, right? People promoting. And so the reason that they do that is because once you have someone's attention, you can understand their buying patterns. Once you understand their buying patterns, you can then influence their buying patterns. So an example that I like to use is toilet paper. Very simple, right? Let's say, for guys, we don't buy it as often, but let's say we buy toilet paper every 2 months and we spend, let's say, $20 every 2 months. So then they take that information, they say, okay, we see on average, they're spending $20 every 2 months. So now let's cut down how much we put in this particular package. So now it doesn't last as long. So instead of buying every 2 months, you're now buying every month. And by doing that, you just double the profit. And if you have the attention of individuals, you can then say, all right, we were making, let's say, 20 million. We just doubled our profit by changing the amount that we're putting in. So we're saving money because we're spending less on material, and we're making more because we're not giving them as much.
But don't that piss your consumer off?
For the short period, but for the short term, for the long term, they forget about it. How much does milk cost now? How much did milk cost when we were kids? We forgot about it now. We have no idea. $3, maybe it's like $6 now for milk, but it's not that big of a difference for us. But for the companies, when they have millions and billions of people, it drops down to their bottom line. So now they're making money hand over fist every single month, making one change. And so I say all that to say, when you have the attention, you can make as much money as you want, because people, when they buy into you, then they'll buy into whatever you're doing. Doesn't matter if it's sales, doesn't matter if it's Forex, doesn't matter if it's family business, if it's e-com, whatever it is. They believe in the individual. And that's why they're making more. The companies are now attaching a person to each company. SpaceX, we know it's Elon. Apple, we know it's Steve Jobs. Amazon, we know it's Jeff Bezos. So if you make that human connection with the individuals, then they believe in you, and they also believe you have their best interests in mind. And so that's why it's a lot easier for them to give you the money when you say, this is my price, this is what it's going to look like to work with us, and they'll do it as many times as you're able to provide value for them. Make sense? And so with that, I've been able to put a system in place that allows us to repeat this process every single time. For anyone who wants to take their expertise, right? You both have expertise. How long you been in business?
9 years.
9 years. Now, if someone wants to come in and learn everything that you've learned, it will take them 9 years. 9 years of their life they will never get back. Imagine if you could take that 9 years, collapse it down into 9 months. They may not have the same level of results, but they will have significantly more results than they would have had they done this by themselves.
True.
And so we want to take everything that you've learned, be able to package it up and say, every one of your 50,000 followers, 500,000 followers, and say, we have an opportunity for you to learn this process, be able to provide a business that'll support not just yourself, but also support your family as well, and also be able to make the type of money that you're looking for in return. All right, make sense?
Y'all feel like y'all getting sold already?
Oh, already. Me, definitely.
You walked in the door.
Yeah. So just wanted to make sure, like, when you learn this, you'll know, one, when it's being used on you, and that's the best defense. And then two, you'll be able to help individuals make a decision that's in the best interest of themselves. So when I think of business just in general, doesn't matter if it's the year 2024, doesn't matter if it's appreciate it. If it's the year, let's say 1814, there's certain departments within the business that are foundational. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. That'll be marketing, that'll be IT, that'll be fulfillment, like whatever people are paying for, they have to get it, and then ultimately sales. And so if it's a foundational pillar in every single business across the world, right, sales is the ability to help someone else or to be able to get money from someone else, because there's no one that's going to pay for their own services or their own products all the time. So that means we need other people to spend money on us. And so this is where sales come into play. And for the purposes of this, we're going to focus solely on premium prices, like the high ticket prices, because that's what I specialize in. And so how do we take the attention that you currently have, and then how do we turn it into prices of people spending $5,000, $10,000 per person per day? So now you can start seeing how it compounds upon itself, which is why we're able to do 2.7 mil this year so far, cash collected. And it's by taking what you already know and showing other people how to do it. So earlier when you had mentioned like you were selling tickets, but people weren't showing up, that's a part of our process. And we'll make sure that people show up, people know exactly what's going on, and people are not just showing up, but they're excited to show up. All right, let's go to the next one. So today's purpose really is to really help you understand the importance of mastering sales and closing, because this allows you to help more people across the board, which is what we call close. Basically, closing is someone when they spend money with you, that's what a close is. Help you understand exactly how to do that. And in doing so, you can start closing, you can start having more people work with you and express interest, like I said, day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year. Let's go to the next one. Why am I qualified to say this? I've been in the sales space, in the high ticket space, for the last 5.5 years without any breaks. So I've been doing this consistently for the last 5.5 years. And so, and in doing so, collected over 12 million and counting, managed multiple sales teams. So what I do is I go out, find people who have the skill set, I get them coached up, and then I place them on the team and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. All the while this is going on, individuals like Dr. T, Alex Marcus, and the whole Fampreneur family, they get to go out and live their lives. So this is happening simultaneously. They don't have to be a part of it. That's my job. The whole reason that I'm brought on board is to make sure that you're consistently making money while not having to be as in the day-to-day operations, because I'm here for that reason. All right, let's go to the next one. So these are the topics that we're going to talk about. I won't go as in depth with all of these, just because I want to keep it high level and make sure you have an overall understanding. Because I know it's been a full day of education, and so I want to make sure that the most important pieces stick. So let's start with what is a sale. Let's go to the next one. So a sale is when somebody trades something like a product or a service for money. Very simple. And in doing so, this is a voluntary exchange where both parties feels as though they're better off because of the transaction. If we go to, let's say we wanted to buy a pen. Sell me this pen, right? If we just said $100 and you're like, $100 for a pen? Exactly. The value of this pen is not worth $100. But if I would have said $100 and it would have gotten you, let's say this entire penthouse, you'd be like, yo, that is a steal. So, and in that scenario, right, it's a voluntary exchange, and in that scenario, you feel like you're better off by paying $100 to rent out, this penthouse. All right, let's go to the next one. And so as we're doing this, there's typically 5 phases that our team is going to go through to make sure that your prospects know exactly what this looks like, what it is, and what it is not. Intro is just basically greeting individuals, letting them know who you are. May crack a joke here and there, but the agenda is when we started getting into the meat and potatoes. This is what we're letting them know. This is why we're here, and this is what your outcome is going to be. We go through a discovery phase. When you go to the doctor, you typically they ask you a boatload of questions: height, weight, what have you been eating, what's your workout routine look like.
What brings you into that?
What's that?
What brings you into that?
Exactly. And the reason for it is they want to understand what's going on. They want to understand if you have, let's say, a broken arm or a torn muscle. Because if they don't know that information, how can they tell you which direction is the best direction to go? And so we're going to give them the opportunity to tell us everything that's going on, what they like, what they don't like, their fears, their goals, who are they currently working with. We want to understand what their situation is. By knowing that, we can then position ourselves as the catalyst between where they are and where they want to get to. Sure, no worries. Any questions so far? I feel like I've been going off for a long time without asking questions.
No.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions in the back?
Y'all
No.
good back there?
I hear it every day. You said attention equals buying power, and then buying power equals what?
So when you have attention, you can influence people's buying habits. Without attention, without them focusing on your particular product, they're going to just scroll right past it and go on about their lives.
I think that's pretty profound because when you think about it with Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, it's like, you know, that's why they say you only have 5 seconds.
Yep.
It's literally 5 seconds. So that was pretty profound to say that, you know, attention is the biggest currency, it's the most valuable currency.
True.
Absolutely.
I mean, everybody here is on Instagram, right? Raise your hand if you're on Instagram.
Yep.
I was about to say, Tony, you better raise your hand. So, how many times do we scroll in a day?
How many hours are we on Instagram
That's
a day?
fair question. How many hours do we scroll in a day?
But 2 hours, 3.
Right. And out of those 2 hours, how many of those do you actually stop, check out, say, oh, this might be interesting?
About
Maybe I should click on the
that
profile.
stuff.
It's information.
I just bought me a charger actually off of TikTok. It's a 4-in-1. It's a USB and C2C chargers. Then it's a regular iPhone charger.
Yep.
And I just bought that for like $10.
Yep. Attention. And if they do a great,
Convenient.
true. And if they do a good job, what they'll do is you'll buy once, and then they'll have your information, like your email.
Package of 3, so I bought 3 actually.
There you.
One for each one of us, so nobody gets bothered with my stuff. So I
Yep.
got a pink one, my husband got a black one, and my
Uh-huh.
brother got a blue one.
There we go. So now that you bought once, what they're going to do is, and I'm going to let you know beforehand, they're going to start sending you emails, promotions, 30% off here, Black Friday this, Cyber Monday this, Christmas special this, right? Because all they're doing is like they got your attention once, and they paid the money for it. Now they have a way to get back in contact with you on a regular basis. So now instead of you buying once, how can we get her to buy 5 times this year?
Because I buy for everybody on my family,
Exactly.
so they won't steal masks.
Exactly.
Sounds about right.
How many times do family members or people you know steal your charger?
Every day, that's why I don't invite people in my house no more.
Or lighters. That's
I
Yeah.
don't smoke, so
That's a
I
real
don't
deal.
get them problems.
I know that one was big in
Actually,
college.
I like candles. They do. I have this electric lighter.
It's the long one.
Yeah, it's a long one. And
Yeah.
you flick it, and then you put it on the wick, and it goes like that. Yeah, that comes up missing like every week. I'm not even gonna tell the story. And I buy like 3 of them.
Yeah.
It's so bad I got it on subscription.
There you go.
That's how bad it is.
That's where everybody wants to be, is the subscription model. If you think about it, name me one thing that's not really subscription. Mortgage. What's that?
Is that the way to move forward, like logistically and realistically, and to be on subscription or anything?
No,
You said, is it
You're saying no, but you're on a subscription.
I am, but I got a bad habit. I'm on DoorDash too. You know how much I spend on DoorDash?
Yeah.
I'm real bad at DoorDash.
Same here.
But it's convenient.
Hmm.
The only reason I do it, if I don't do it,
Oh, yes.
I won't like go to the grocery store. I don't like going to the grocery store because I do so much stuff during the day. I'm cleaning up, taking care of kids, taking them to school, taking them to ballet, taking them to martial arts.
Uh-huh.
I'm doing so much during the day. I don't have time to go grocery shopping. So I rather, by the time I get to the door, I'm bringing in groceries because It was already dropped off.
It's already delivered. Convenience. There's a premium on convenience. So
But
when
it
you,
made me lazy though. I'm not even gonna tell a story about that. It made me real lazy.
well,
And it got him going like, I'm gonna put you on the budget.
You tend to overspend when you do it.
You do because you gotta pay their fees.
Mhm.
And then what you normally spend for a gallon of milk is like
Mhm.
2 times that.
yeah, there's a premium price on convenience.
It
Is
is.
it?
Online, the prices are different than when you go next door.
It is.
Yes.
Crazy.
Hmm.
I mean,
It is.
And also,
they even call it a
it's also
convenience
matter
fee.
of your time, too.
They do. They do.
It's the convenience.
And then you gotta tip the DoorDasher because if you don't, they'll probably steal your food. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they'll steal it. I had one time I didn't have enough
Mm.
to tip them,
Yeah.
and the guy pretended like he dropped it off, but he really just took it.
I was a DoorDasher once before, and it's when they cancel on you, it is like the worst thing ever because you don't get paid at all. So if you pick up the food and you're on your way and they take too long, they'll cancel, and it's like the person cancels, so it's like you left with the food. The food may be good, may not, but you don't get paid at all. If they cancel, yeah.
But now they kind of put a stop to that because now they're saying that if you cancel, you still got to pay for the food.
I'm not sure what it is now, but this was like several years ago. And let's say they have a radius. They make sure it's not too far. So if you have to travel more than 10 miles, then it's outside the radius. But 10 miles. Imagine traveling 10 miles in Atlanta. Imagine you going from like the airport to Buckhead and you got to go through downtown or midtown. The traffic there is insane. It's disgusting.
Oh. Yeah, it's literally bumper to bumper.
Mm-hmm. So,
See, that's why I always tip them high.
yep.
So they'll come.
Dr. T,
Yes, sir.
is a copy of this going to be sent to him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Let's
he's going to continue because he's going to be on the phone with her for a month. That's an annoying employee. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta make sure we get to the bank
We
too.
gotta make it to the
Okay.
Eric!
Marcus.
You wanna
Let me see if we got to go to the bank.
What time you guys got to be there by? 4? 4:30?
probably like 4, 3:45, 4.
Okay. No worries. When she comes back, what I'll do is I'll just continue through, and they can have the recording of it.
That's cool.
Okay.
How do you bring my husband back? I don't like her. I know I'm gonna have problems with her. I'm gonna have to curse her out like 30 times.
That's gonna be fun.
She's a brat. You ever had an employee that's a brat?
Yeah, for 30 seconds.
Yep.
I'm done.
Yep. They don't last long.
30 seconds. They don't last long. You better you causing me a headache, bro. You missing my piece right now. Yeah, nah. You there for 30 seconds. I don't know.
I don't have time for that. She's annoying.
All right, we'll continue on because I know you guys have to get to the. Okay, so in the discovery phase, we want to learn as much about the prospect, the person we're speaking to. And the reason we want to understand exactly what's going on is because when they tell us, how much easier do you think high school quizzes, exams would be if you already had the answers to the test? Be a lot easier. Here's how we get the answers to the test is in our discovery phase. And by knowing this information, when we present the offer to them, we know exactly what they're looking for. We know exactly where they are, where they want to get to, and we can speak to how our solution solves their problem and how we've done it so many times, so easily that it would be unreasonable for us not to be able to help them get there. And so when you go to the doctor and you say, hey, doc, my arm hurts, he'll do an examination. And so he'll say, where does it hurt? You'll say it hurts like right in here. You think you have a torn muscle, but it's not a torn muscle, it's a broken bone. So the solution for a torn muscle and a broken bone are different. So we want to make sure we understand what it is so that way we can say, here's the prescription, here's what I think will help. We need to go in, we need to put a plate in there to make sure the bone heals correctly and it doesn't move. And in doing so, the person is going to believe that you have their best interests in mind. And then when it comes down to paying for it, there's no resistance. What's the take rate on prescriptions from doctors? If it's not,
Practically non-existent.
well, getting the prescription filled or the clothes or the person spending money is pretty high because they want the solution. And so by doing it, if we,
Pharmaceuticals is the highest paying
what's that?
pharmaceuticals.
This multi-billion dollar, $100 billion industry. So that's what we use. Now, what we talked about was the discovery phase. The discovery phase is where we learn about our prospects, learn about the person we're speaking to. We want to understand their pain. We understand their doubt, understand what it's going to cost them if they don't do something. And this breaks down into a lot. This can be relationships. This can be time. This can be money. This can be opportunities. What's at risk if we continue doing things as we've been doing it? And so we want to move on to understanding what the goal is, understanding their desire. And if they want this and avoid this, what have they set aside already to help themselves get there? Support typically comes in the fashion of family, friends, business advisors, financial advisors, things of that sort. So we want to see who they currently help make them decisions. And then trust. Do they believe we can help them get there? This is a big one. If they like you, if they know about you, but they don't necessarily trust you, there's no sale. There's no money made. So these are called the 7 beliefs. Now, the way we're able to get that information is using a big fancy word for all my doctors in the room. Socratic dialogue. Socratic dialogue. So it's just a fancy way of saying we're going to ask you some questions to find out what's going on. All right. All right. I know we're up against time. You guys got to make it to the bank, but
Yeah, sorry.
no worries.
Let's clap it up for Ed, y'all.
Yes.
Let's do it.
And I knew someone touched me.
Appreciate it.
Top sales agent.
So we're gonna send you. Can we can get the presentation too, right?
Yeah.
Or is it- okay, cool.
Yep, 100%. I can send this over to you guys. I do. Sure.
You are so rude and disrespectful.
I'm so sorry.
No worries.
I'm investing in the company. I promise
Hey.
you. I'm going to sell it.
Making money moves. That's fine.
Get started with printing because we need to, so Tony can notarize the, trust, so we can head on over to the bank.
Is the printer set up?
Oh, yeah, we got this done.
So I got to think about the presentation.
I'll send this to you.